All men were drafted to the army. Samuel kissed his wife and children goodbye and left to go to the Second World War. Just a couple of months ago, Birobidzhan was a small town nobody knew about. Now, it was one of the hopes of the entire country. As Hitler's army rapidly moved east, capturing one town after another, all the people of the western part of Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine tried to run east as quickly and as far away as possible. Overcrowded trains brought thousands of people into Birobidzhan every day. People were housed into residence houses and barracks by the dozens. Several families were housed in a one-room house, happy to simply have a roof over their heads. Sarah also shared her small log house with 3 other families. It was hard enough for 5 people to live in her small house, and it was impossible to imagine more people resigning there. But they did. During the day, adults worked, and only the small children occupied the house. At nighttime, the entire floor of the house was used as a big bed, where everybody slept. A few weeks after the beginning of the war, women started receiving death letters from the front about their husbands, fathers, brothers, or sons. The wording of these letters was the same. He died heroically in the war. And the grief of loved ones was the same too. They wept in hopelessness and misery. Every day, Sarah heard terrible news from different families. Though there was no news from Samuel or her siblings, Faga, Aaron, or Meir, Sarah lived in endless fear for their lives. Aaron was drafted as an aircraft mechanic into the Special Air Force, and it gave his family a privilege to be evacuated sooner. Anna arrived to the train station with her children and parents. Even though she had tickets and all the necessary paperwork, it was almost impossible to get on a train. The train station was a disaster. People wanted to get onto a train by any means. German planes circled the city, dropping bombs and randomly shooting civilians, and the train station was one of their main targets. The men pulled a submachine gun onto the roof of the train and fired into the sky. While passengers boarded the train, bombs exploded all around the station, causing widespread damage, killing numerous people, with mercy for no one. Every time a plane flew above their heads, a rain of bullets took down a number of people. They dropped dead while standing on the platform, stepping onto a train or already sitting in the train. People moved in different directions in panic, trying to get on the train or out. Some hid under the train and some ran for cover inside the train station. However, the building was already partially destroyed and couldn't shelter anymore. Anna tried to get on the train, pushing people with her elbows, holding Boris on her arm and Leah by her hand. "Follow me," she called her parents. She squeezed between passengers, little by little, and finally found herself standing between the compartments. She looked back and was not able to see her parents. The panicking crowd separated them. The submachine gun shooters managed to hit a German plane. The plane caught fire and fell to the ground beyond the city's boundaries. A massive explosion followed by a deafening rage sounded out from the crowd that witnessed the scene. The train suddenly jerked forward as people kept boarding it. Anna attempted to move closer to the door to see if her parents were still there, but people pushed her back, trying to get on the train at the last moment. She didn't know whether her parents got on the train, or if they were still alive at all. As the train moved farther from the station, the people in the train witnessed a terrifying panorama of the burning city they'd lived in all their lives, with German planes hovering above it. One of them chased the train, flying right above, and bullets rained from the sky like hail onto the people. The train stopped in the middle of a field. Nobody knew why. Either the train engineer was killed or the train was damaged. The people jumped off and ran away from the train in horror. Anna left her belongings on the train and ran with all the others to the nearest forest, holding Boris in one hand and Leah in the other. The plane disappeared from the sky and only the roar of its engine echoed behind the forest. Suddenly, Anna heard the sound of moving train again. She turned around and saw as everyone ran back to the moving train. The German plane was coming back too. Anna rushed back as she felt death right behind her. She had to get back. She had to make it. The plane flew above their heads. Anna looked up as the blank face of a German pilot aimed directly at the crowd that was running toward the train. The shower of bullets brought people down on the green grass, staining it bright red. The train was overcrowded and the people were hanging on the steps. Anna trusted her small baby boy to someone through the train window. The train increased the speed. She ran as fast as she could, pulling Leah behind. People hung on the steps, unable to get in. Anna couldn't even grab the bar. The plane came back again, and a flurry of bullets reduced the number of people still hanging on the steps. Running passengers were jumping over the dead or injured bodies, hoping to get a place on the train. And Anna was running among them. A car passed her, gaining speed. She had no chance of getting on it because those on the stairs blocked the entrance. Another car passed by much faster, and she had no luck to get in again. Suddenly, somebody grabbed Leah and pulled her inside the train through a window. Now, Anna was running with all the others who still didn't get into the train. If she didn't make it, she would lose her children. Who would take care of them? A lot of people had been left behind. Some of them were still running after the train. Some of them resting on the fresh green grass, looking at the clear blue sky with their motionless eyes, not knowing pain or worry anymore. Anna was running next to the last car. In a few seconds, it would be too late to get inside. She would never be able to reach it. She was desperate. She grabbed a man hanging on the last step and hung onto him. "Son of a," he yelled. "You're crazy." But he couldn't get rid of her. If he moved, they would both fall down. The train moved faster and faster. There was no way to jump down and no way to get in. Anna hung, holding on tightly to the man, and prayed. Finally, the passengers pushed their way in and Anna was able to get inside the train. It took her a couple of hours to find her children.